Has California already seceded from the Union? I keep asking myself that question every time I read the headlines. I mean, just recently it says, I got a headline here. It says, California bill wants to drop Washington's Lincoln's birthday and replace it with a communist holiday. It appears that in the California Assembly last Thursday, a bill that would replace Abraham Lincoln or George Washington's birthday with International Socialist Workers' Day as a paid holiday. Another one here. California passes bill to protect arrested illegal aliens by banning disclosure of their immigration status in court. Now, I did a video on a coup d'etat, California coup d'etat. Within California, that's exactly what they're having. They're having a coup d'etat. The Communist Party, the Democratic Party, the Progressives, all one and the same thing. The Communist Party, radical Marxists. The public servants of California, I'm talking about Jerry Brown and all the various different mayors throughout the cities throughout the state of California. They all took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That they did, every single one of them. Otherwise, they couldn't be in office. And part of that oath, as we've learned through some of my other videos on the subject of the oath, in that oath, the person is taking an oath saying that they will not under any circumstances evade this oath, that when they take the oath, they mean to uphold and defend the Constitution, okay? Now, in California is what they call a progressive state. Progressive is communist or radical Marxists. And what has happened in California is these radical Marxists have taken over, and they now are totally ignoring not only the state constitution, but they're ignoring the United States Constitution, by leaving the borders open and subjecting every other person in the United States to the wrath of unvetted illegal aliens. I mean, we don't know whether they've got disease, so we have that problem. California has unleashed different kinds of disease on the rest of the nation because of their anti-American, constitutional position on immigration. We have criminals coming across the border, drug trade, weapons, you name it. Because that's why you have a border. You want to make sure that when people come in, that their intentions are honorable and that they're going to honor our law and assimilate. Add to the society, not take away from it. So today we have a governor who's a rogue governor who is basically saying, and this is what's going on. We can look at it any way you want, but what really is happening here is that California is ignoring the laws of the United States and ignoring the laws of their own state constitution, have in fact taken California from being a state of the union to basically an individual country. They've actually seceded from the union. To ignore all the laws of the United States when it comes to immigration or the sanctuary cities where they protect people who are here illegally, this is all outside of our Constitution. It's all outside of the California state constitution. They have completely seceded from the union since there's no longer a Republican form of government as guaranteed by Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution, as well as California claiming to be a republic in its constitution, as well as its flag. Just take a look at its flag. It's got a big bear on it, a big star, and it says California what? California Republic, not California Democracy or California Communism. California Republic. California is a rogue state. California has seceded from the Union. The very fact that it's ignoring the United States laws, the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the state of California, guaranteeing a Republican form of government to California. This is clearly a coup d'etat and a secession from the Union. California is no longer part of the United States. And because of that, if we're going to build a wall, we should build a wall around California and any other state that has divorced itself from this nation. We now only have 49 states because California is rogue. It is not a state in this union anymore. Now, since the governor of California and all of his cohorts, the mayors and every other thing, have openly and notoriously committed an act of treason against the United States. And they're allowing people to come up through the border, through our border, through California, illegally, unconstitutionally, that it is time for our president to take a stand and charge Jerry Brown and all of the various different mayors of all the cities that support sanctuary cities. Need to charge them with treason. Because the people in the state of California do not support this coup d'etat, who want to remain in the Union, want a Republican form of government, sound monetary system, have a right to be protected. And Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution specifically says that the president will protect all of the states from invasion. Jerry Brown is allowing an invasion. And all these governors, these mayors that are going along with these sanctuary cities, they too are a part of this coup d'etat, this overthrow of not only California, but of the United States. Okay, you want to know what secession looks like? You want to know what it looks like to secede from the Union? This is it. Now, Jerry Brown may cause a civil war within California, because Californians have a constitutionally protected right to thwart off a domestic enemy, and Jerry Brown is a domestic enemy. Don't let that fool you. He is. He's a traitor. And so are the mayors that support the sanctuary cities and are hiding these criminals, felons. We don't know who they are. And then allowing them to enter our country unnoticed, bringing in whatever, disease, crime, whatever. You just name it. We don't know. Now, if the government in California doesn't have to obey the law, so why should anybody else in California have to obey the law? I think the people in California, those who support the Constitution, should exercise their Second Amendment right at this point. Their lives are being threatened. Their property is being threatened. Their liberty is being threatened by these anti-American, communist, fascist pigs. That's Jerry Brown. He's nothing but a communist, Marxist, fascist pig. And PIG means person in government, especially a rogue government like California. This SOB's got to go. I mean, he's threatening every single one of us in this country by allowing people to cross that border and then protecting them. Every single one of us has a duty. We have a duty to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that goes for the state constitutions as well. We have a duty to uphold and defend the state from enemies, foreign or domestic. In this case, we're dealing with a complete political party, the Democratic Party, which is a communist party, whose sole purpose, if you can't see it by now, then you've got an IQ below 40. These people are serious. They are openly and notoriously overthrowing our Constitution, our constitutional republic. They're doing it right in front of your eyes. We've established all 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto in this country in 1954, and that was the establishment of free education in public schools, where they learned all this communist, Marxist crap. Joe McCarthy, he warned everybody about the communists infiltrating this country, not only within our government, but in the film industry and in the corporate industries themselves. He warned us. And now they have a stronghold. But they don't have the law. The Constitution still exists. And you and I are responsible for its enforcement. Not the servants that we hire for government. Yes, they're supposed to do that. But when they don't do their job, that falls back on us. That falls back on you, and that falls back on me. And it's time that you get a pair. Can't wait for the courts to make a decision because the courts are irreversibly corrupt. They're not going to rule on the law. The courts have become laws unto themselves. That's what we call case law. Instead of the courts taking a situation and applying that situation to the laws, the Constitution, and if it doesn't fit, you throw it out. If it does, then it stays. They don't do that anymore. They interpret the law. That very statement is idiotic. Because if the law requires interpretation for someone to understand it, it is void. It's void for vagueness. It's no law at all. Nobody's bound to obey it. We are dealing with a full-blown coup d'etat, and now we have a rogue state that has literally seceded from the Union. And nobody's saying, well, what are they doing down there? You're watching an overthrow of California. You're watching the beginning of the overthrow of the United States of America. California's going to set the example, right? Filled with a bunch of communist perverts that want to destroy everything that is decent in the world. And then they want to rule you with an iron fist. That's your Democratic Party. They're traitors. They're domestic enemies. Their sole purpose is to destroy the constitutional republic. They say they want to establish a democracy, which is the vilest form of government, as Thomas Paine said there is. They want to replace it with democracy, because democracy is not a form of government. It is a process, and it is a process only. Democracy is used as a vehicle to move one from one form of government to another. If you have a democracy, and I've said this a million times, and the majority, 51%, vote in communism, do you have a democracy anymore? Hell no. You have communism. And in communism, there is no democratic process, I can assure you. Now, I've been doing a series of videos called the 10 Planks of the Communist Manifesto. I'm up to plank 9 now. And we're going to get into the 10th plank. And when I do, I show you that in this country today, as I speak, we practice communism exactly the way Karl Marx outlined it in the 10 planks, just like he outlined it. We practice every one of the planks. We've been a practicing communist nation, like I said, since 1954. And then we have these morons, this Antifa, all these leftist communist assholes that are out here rebelling against the system. The system they're rebelling against, this system that we're living under right now, is communism. The Constitution is totally ignored. And these idiots are fighting the system, communist system, so that they can bring in what? The communist system. You see how ridiculously stupid these people are? How in the world can anybody take these people seriously? You are looking at Saul Alinsky's Rules of Radicals in motion. Everything that the Democratic, and I should say the Communist Party, everything they do and say, and that goes with their media, CNN, all of them. every single one of them supports this communism. Okay, I just wanted to bring this up today. I've been thinking about this for days because people always are talking. They're always talking about, states seceding from the Union. What happened during the Civil War when the South wanted to secede from the Union and create their own country. This is what we're seeing here. We're watching Jerry Brown, that communist traitorous pig, and his cohorts. They are, in fact, taking California out of this union. They are seceding from this union. You're watching a secession in progress by a coup d'etat, a communist coup d'etat. I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem.